Welcome to the Morning Star Community Christian Center's Thursday evening Bible study with Pastor Dr. Thurman E. Evans. Morning Star is located at 1009 Chandler Avenue in the city of Linden, New Jersey. We're live now on Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, and the Morning Star Church app. Join Pastor Evans as he breaks down the word in a way that we can all understand. And just in case there's a few points that you might miss or not understand, there'll be a short question and answer session immediately following the teaching. So we encourage you to call a neighbor, call a friend, tell them to grab that iPhone or that iPad or that laptop and log on for tonight's lesson. Join us now for an exciting journey into God's Word. We believe it, we receive it, and we will achieve it. Enjoy the lesson. Amen. Amen. Welcome to another awesome evening of Bible study here at Morning Star. With no delay, we're going to move right into the lesson. I'm going to turn it over to the awesome man of God, Dr. Thurman E. Evans.
Thank you very much, Brother Terry. And as you know, Brother Fuller is our minister of music at Morning Star. And he's the best minister of music on earth, and we thank him for his contribution and his expertise. So thank you, and he's going to stay with us as we get to the point where we have questions, and we have a very exciting and informative program for you this evening. So please stay tuned and take these last few seconds to reach out to somebody and have them join us, because it's going to be impactful. It's going to be a learning experience, and it's going to be something that will help all of us, for it speaks to something that we are all going through. And again, this is part 2, education and COVID-19. Last week, as you know, we had 3 magnificent principals from the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school level. And they talked about education and COVID-19 from each of their perspectives, and we learned something. We grew from it, and we are better for it. This week, education and COVID-19, only it's different. We're going to hear from the direct consumer, the frontline consumer. We're going to hear from the young people who are actually going to school in the context of COVID-19. And by going to school, I mean going to school the way they're going to school, which is different than we have ever experienced. And we're also going to hear from the parents of these wonderful young people to talk about education and COVID-19 from their perspective. So we want to get right into it. Everybody knows how significant and how important education is. And everybody knows how we at Morning Star place a high level of importance on education, and we believe in it. We support it. We give money to our young people as best we can to help them pay for their expenses, and we expect them to do well, because that's the Morning Star way. And God would want them to be at their highest and their best. So we're going to get right into it. So the first young person and mother that we're going to hear from is Sister Avriel. Sister Avriel. Her mother is Aisha Turnage, and Sister Avriel is she's in the 5th grade. She's 10 years old. We're not going to tell you how old her mother is. But we want you to know where the young person is, what level they're in, and as they give to you their experience at their level. So, Sister Aisha Turnage and Sister Avriel, we welcome you to this evening's Bible study. God bless you, and thank you so much for being with us. And so we ask you now to talk to us about your experience. And let's begin with young Sister Avriel, who is one of our brilliant young people. These young people today are just so smart, and particularly the ones from Morning Star, that you're just absolutely brilliant. And we know that their parents are responsible for that. So, Sister Avriel, why don't you begin?
Say hi to everybody. Hi, I am Avriel Smith, a 5th grader at LV Moore Middle School. I have mixed feelings about virtual school, and here's why. My first reason why I don't like virtual school is because I can't see my friends as often. If I was at regular school, I would be able to see my friends every day in class. But now that we're in virtual school, I can only talk to them over the phone. A second reason why I dislike virtual school is because, no, I like virtual school, is because, well, we get 5-minute breaks in between each of our classes, and if we did that in regular school, we wouldn't. It would only be for transferring classes, and I really do miss my friends in school. That's why that was my very first reason.
Is that all?
That's all.
Okay. Mom?
Okay, well, my experience is a little bit different than hers. If I had to sum it up in one word, I would say it's a bit overwhelming, but I'm not letting it consume me. So I have 3 in elementary school, actually. So that's why it's not just Avriel. I have her younger sister is in the 2nd grade, and her little brother is in kindergarten. So I'm proctoring 3 different grade levels, and mostly kindergarten, because I have to sit next to my rambunctious little boy. And it is it's a challenge to be the classroom proctor, to be the lunch lady, the breakfast lady, to try and get the housework done also, in addition to making sure, they're staying on task with their assignments, and then in their break time, making sure that they're doing their independent work independently. My 2nd grader and my kindergartners seem to think that break time is playtime. So I have to, consistently redirect them. And so, leaving the room isn't really, it's not the best option. I have to prepare lunch for them. There's also, they have a younger brother who's 1, so I also have to tend to him. And so, it's been quite a challenge. It's been quite a challenge for me, but I feel like we're starting to get our flow, and each day it gets easier, but each day there is a new challenge, but it is getting, we're starting to get into our flow as a family.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And before we move to our next child and parent, let me say to you who are listening and are participating in this viewing experience, if you have questions, we want you to begin to line up with your questions, surface your questions, and we'll take as many of them as we can. You may have a question that our panelists do not address initially, but they will be happy to come back and let you know how they're handling whatever your question may be. So begin to surface your questions even as we move forward to the next panelist. And her name is Layla Qualis. She is 13 years old, and she is in the 8th grade, and she attends Edison Intermediate School in Westfield. And I forgot to mention that Sister Avriel attends Leonard V. Moore School in Roselle, New Jersey. Layla attends Edison Intermediate School in Westfield. And her parent is Sister Aisha Porter Qualis. And we bring them now on, and we will hear first from Sister Layla. So please talk to us, Sister Layla.
Hi, I'm Layla. I'm in the 8th grade and I'm 13. And I also have mixed emotions about remote, and I'm all remote. So it's easy to navigate if you really think about it, but then it's like annoying. So what's easy and I like about it is that all the assignments are online, so you don't really have to write down anything, and it's quick to access. And it's a great a good communication kind of, and you are able to go into breakout rooms with people to have discussions. We still do a lot of stuff that we would do if we were in the classroom, but it's just we're at home. What I don't like though is that sometimes the internet can crash and it might not work, and then some things might be slow or lag. And when you have to open documents, because our assignments are all on the computer, it takes a long time to load. But what I found helpful was to turn off your camera because it makes it faster to load. But other than that, I'm okay with it for right now. Let's hope that it stays that way. But I'm getting through it.
Okay, thank you so much. Mom?
Hi, I'm Aisha Qualis. I'm Layla's mom. For me as a parent, I also have a college student who's home doing remote learning. For our district, they actually offered hybrid learning where you can go into school 2 days a week and do remote 3 days a week. But I opted for full remote for her because I am that concerned parent that want her to be healthy. I had concerns at the beginning of the school year, and I still have concerns about COVID. So we opted for full remote because we want her to continue to get her education, but her safety and her health comes first. So my husband and I had a conversation, and we talked it over with Layla, and she agreed. So I think when the pandemic first started versus this school year, it's a little different. It's more organized. The school district provided each student with a Chromebook, which was excellent. Their schedule is a little off, and we had to get used to it. But I sat down with Layla at the beginning of the school year, actually the first day of school, and we set alarms for each class so that she is able to know where she's supposed to be and what class and what time it starts. Because she is home, she may start getting sidetracked on other things. So the alarms will make sure she's where she needs to be at any given time. And we're just doing the best that we can. I also work full-time. I work at home most of the week, but I do go into the office 2 times a week. But my oldest, who's home from college, also remote, she is here to help us along the way. And we have to stay organized. But she's doing great. Her progress report came along and she's doing good. So, hey, I must say that we're making it happen. And another thing that I noticed is that during the free time, she's able to complete her homework sooner. When she was in school all day long, she would be so tired. By Thursdays, she would come home and crash. and I will come home from work. I'm like, did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? But now, because of the extra time and the freedom that she has throughout the day, and the teachers allow them time to complete their assignment. So it's working for us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that, Sister Aisha. And let me say again before we take our third panelist, again, if you have questions, begin to surface them now, and we will respond to as many of them as we can. So now surface your questions, and we again will respond to as many of them as we can. So next, we have one of our students who is in college, and she is she's a senior at Widener University. Widener University, and her mother, Sister Kim Ware Robinson. She is the parent, and Sister Kelsey Robinson is the daughter, and she's going to talk to us from the perspective of being a college student and having a virtual experience. And so let's hear from, let's welcome Sister Kelsey and Sister Kim. And so, Sister Kelsey, why don't you begin?
Hi, everyone. Like Pastor said, my name is Kelsey. I'm a senior attending Widener University. And I would say that my virtual experience has also been very overwhelming. A lot of the classes that I'm getting, like I get notifications about new assignments, new work, like all day, every day. And I believe that the teachers have an understanding that like we have more time, or we have more flexible time during these times when we're home. But for someone like me, like I also have an internship. I'm also helping my family around the house. It can get really overwhelming to not only know I have assignments, but to keep seeing the notifications about updates. So something that I found really useful to do was to find a system. I noticed that I kept trying to do my assignments in my room, and that's not really helpful because I'll start doing something else, get distracted by TV. So I just had to create a space for myself that is just designated towards my work, a place that I can focus, a place that I can just go and just focus on my work and then come back to my comfort zone. So I think that finding an environment where you can just concentrate is good, and also finding a system, because if you just wait and know that you have an assignment, you really have to plan out, okay, when I'm going to do this assignment here, I'm going to do this assignment here, especially when there's group assignments still going on online. You really just have to stay organized.
Okay, thank you for that. Sister Kim?
Well, that's great. That's great. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Pastor and First Lady, and my Morning Star family. I thank you all for the unmeasurable and unconditional love and support that you guys continue to give to Kelsey and myself. Today, we're talking about education and the pandemic. So for Kelsey and I'm glad she gave her perspective, because for Kelsey and I, there are two parts of it. It's education, the academic part, and financial. College parents, I'm the financial part. But here I also provide mentorship and support for Kelsey as she's going through her challenges of adjusting to the remote portion. But for the most part, with the senior in college, she's already done it. So that's her portion. And if she needs some assistance and some guidance, that's what I'm here for. But then college parents, there are two other aspects to it. There's the socialization and the independence that they get when they go off to college, and now they're home because of the pandemic. They're home and they have to adjust to our rules and regulations as independent, dependent young adults. So with that being said, there's another portion that for Kelsey and I, we focus on, and that's the spiritual part. Spiritually, she was, before she left to go off to college, our house was a spiritual praying household, and going off to college and coming back, it's the same thing. The pandemic has not changed that. However, it has increased our faith, or my faith, in the circumstances within the pandemic. And I'm just looking forward to additional conversation and questions in reference to some of the challenges that we face for her adjusting to, or us adjusting, us adjusting to her being home remote full time. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sister Kelsey and Sister Kim. So let me bring back all of our panelists. Sister Abrielle, Sister Aisha, Sister Layla, Sister Aisha again. And let me thank all of you for what you have said. I know you've squeezed a lot, and if you probably can think of a lot that you did not include, but you gave us a taste of what you're facing. So let me bring Brother Terry Fuller in to see if we have any questions in queue, because I have a few if there are none yet available. Brother Terry, do we have any questions from a viewing audience?
Yes, we do. I'll give you our first one, Pastor. It says here, what can the teachers, school, or district do to make the process easier for you as students and as parents?
Excellent question. Because in fact, that was one that I had as well. What can teachers, administrators, schools do to help you all be more successful during this pandemic? Did I repeat that question correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who wants to, maybe each of you could take a brief stab at that, for each of you may have a different perspective. Who wants to, anybody can go first.
Okay. Okay. So I'd like to say, my children attend the Roselle District, and Marshall, my son, the kindergartner, his principal was one of the principals that you that presented last week, Ms. Sheila Williams. And so I have to say that that the teachers have been doing a great job, communicating, making sure that, they not only reach out to us through the Schoology app, the Schoology platform, because that's the platform that we're using, but they also send emails, direct emails. So I appreciate that. I can't really say that, what else can they do? Because I think that they are, from my experience, that they are doing a great job, and they're doing the best that they can, as I am. What I think I could use more of is, these little nuances, like when you're in the classroom with the kids, you can consistently tell them, okay, you consistently go over these concepts, on a day-to-day basis. And so when my child is working independently, I have to make sure, okay, well, how do sentences begin? How do sentences end? I have to constantly drill home these concepts. So that makes it more challenging for me, because their independent work isn't really independent. I have to, coach them some through it and reinforce what they've learned throughout the day. So I can't really say, maybe if there were some printouts that I could hang around their workspace, because everyone has their own little workspace. So I could make their workspace look more like a classroom, without having to create the things myself. I did create a word wall, that I can do, but like the little things, Marshall's learning how to write sentences, and Madison is learning how to answer questions. So, these little concepts that, consistently have to be drilled into them so that they can get it to build that foundation for the next level. So,
Okay. Thank you for that. Sister Abrielle, do you have anything that comes to your mind that the schools, the teachers, the administrators might be more helpful with?
I think what would be more helpful is like direct conferencing for students who need help with some things. my homeroom teacher, she does that, and so do some of my other teachers. They do that if you need help with one of the assignments they assigned. But I think it would be better if they did it in the kindergarten and second grade, the grades that my sister and brother are in. Mostly the kindergarten, because they are learning these things and they need help with the things they're learning.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Sister Qualis or Sister Kelsey or Kim?
For the most part, it's all good, and the teachers understand our struggle, and they're also struggling, so they're trying to adjust to what to do because it's a struggle on both parts. But everything that happens is like good. They get assignments, we do them together. We sometimes have class discussions, and at and sometimes my teachers will send a link or something like that so that if you need help, you can go. But every day after school on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays and Fridays, we have afternoon sessions with those classes that we had that day, just to go over any material that we learned in class, or if we just want to do our homework, or if we need questions. So I think that's really good.
Good. Sister Aisha?
And I must say that our school district, they are extremely helpful. I remember when the pandemic first happened, I had to email and conference with teachers, and they called me. We did a video conference because I didn't understand. So they are more than willing to help parents and the children navigate this new way of learning. So.
Okay.
I say this to parents, if you have any concerns, just reach out to the teachers.
Yeah.
They are there to help.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. That's important. Sister Kelsey, Sister Kim, anything you can think of that the schools and teachers can do to help make this experience better?
Yeah, I would say from my experience, one thing that I would really recommend is to be mindful about like your students, because I feel like a lot of the assignments I get sometimes are like just busy work, and I'm a senior, so I'm really focused on like my career, and I'm not trying to just do work anymore just to be in school. Like I'm actually trying to learn things that will help me later in my career. So I just wish professors would be a little bit more thoughtful about the assignments that they're giving us, and not just trying to give us work just to stay busy, but assignments that can really help us in the future.
Excellent. Sister Kim?
I ditto what my daughter says. I'm in support of them not giving them busy work, because one thing for sure is that with the remote learning, I look at it as her being a senior, it has accelerated her year toward closer to her career path. So that senior year that she would normally spend her last year on campus or in college has now accelerated to a point that she needs to prepare for her future now. So I think it would be good if they didn't give them busy work and would focus more on their future versus just the now. However, one more statement. However, I do understand that college work is sometimes busy work. So that also could be, an adjustment for them to prepare themselves for the future.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so let's go back to Brother Fuller. Let's see if there is another question that may be residing in the chat room.
Yes, actually, this one is directly towards Aisha.
Which there are two of them.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Turnage.
Okay, good.
Okay. This one says, how have you adapted to juggling the use of multiple computer devices in your home And is your access to the internet and the instructional platform system working for you?
Excellent, excellent. I told you guys we'd have some wonderful viewers, and they're coming forth with some absolutely excellent questions. So, Sister Turnage.
Okay, so I think I'm like I said, I'm starting to find my flow. We as a family are starting to find our flow. It is helpful because I can because all of them can navigate on their own. Even my kindergartner, he knows how to log on. I put the links in his bookmark bar. So he, logs on. He knows the Wi-Fi password, because with the Chromebooks, we also have district issue Chromebooks, and they log out of the Wi-Fi when you turn them off. So every time we turn it on, we have to re-log in with the Wi-Fi. And so he's getting that on his own. He can log in and sign on to his morning meeting on his own. It's just getting him to those assignments. That's the challenge. But they have the hang of it. I taught them all. They all know the Wi-Fi password. So when Schoology is a little glitchy, that poses a challenge. But other than that, we're like I said, we're finding our flow. So to God be the glory.
Yeah, and you've got quite a challenge with, you said three young ones, right?
Yes,
all virtual.
Yeah, 3 all virtual and a 1-year-old.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Not in school.
Oh boy. Is there another question, Brother Fuller?
Yes, we have another one, Pastor. This one is for Aisha number 2, Qualis. How is Layla doing mentally and emotionally during her time away from school and her friends?
I will let her answer that, okay, because only she can answer that.
For me, it doesn't really stress me out as much as it did when the pandemic first hit. But I was in 7th grade, so I was like, But now it's much more organized and better. So, and I got the concept of it. So it's just my understanding of it. And emotionally, I'm okay with it. I don't sit in my room and cry all day. That just doesn't happen. And I also think that our teachers are trying to do their best to not stress us out and give few assignments due in 1 week or 1 day. But for like right now, and like I hope for the whole year, I'm mentally and emotionally fine.
I must say, from a parent's perspective, she is doing well, emotionally and mentally. I haven't seen any signs. I was concerned, of course, as a parent, because she's used to being with friends. But I must say that Layla stays home a lot. So she's around us a lot. So she doesn't go out and be with her friends. She doesn't do a lot of sleepovers. So I guess that is helpful. Thank you, God, that she's used to being by herself.
So what about sleep or boredom?
Okay, so I do get bored because sometimes it's just easy to zone out because you're just staring at a computer all day and you're like, I don't want to do this right now or something. But for the most part, I do my assignments, I log on, I do what I'm supposed to do. And for sleeping, I get a decent amount of sleep, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm not up at 2:00 in the morning, going to sleep at 6 and waking back up at 7. So it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, I said yes, that is true. And we also go outside and do some walks. Alana and I, not Layla, my oldest, we pretty much work out a few days a week. God has been good to us because we both lost like 20 pounds during this pandemic because we had nothing else to do but exercise, eat healthy, not eat out. So we were able to do that.
So the other panelists, sleep, boredom, does that come into play at all?
Well, sometimes during class, I do get bored when it's break time and my teachers tell us to do an assignment that I already completed. I get bored, but sometimes when I do get bored, I read a book or I do some other assignments. And
Okay.
sleep, I get a decent amount of sleep too. I'm not up late. I go to bed at 8 to 9 o'clock, and I wake up at 6.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Sister Kelsey, any issue with those?
I feel like I'm a college student and I'm a senior, so I'm kind of like ready to get out of there anyway and start my career. So this is extra difficult for me.
Yeah.
As her mom, I have concerns about her sleeping patterns and how she's staying up late at night. But I'm guessing that that's my adjustment to her returning home from the pandemic, because I constantly remind her that she has to get the appropriate sleep. And she constantly reminds me that she's a college student and this is what college students do. So we've adjusted.
Okay. So we have time to take another question, should there be one, Brother Terry?
Yes, actually, we have a comment for Sister Turnage first. I think this is from someone with some weight in your district. And the message is, I got you on the resources. So I think there are going to be some resources heading your way to get up to add to your word wall. The question, Pastor, is definitely for all the panelists. On screen time with teachers, do you think it is sufficient, not enough, or too much screen time with teachers?
Excellent. Excellent. Let's start with the senior this time and work our way down to the fifth grader. Sister Kelsey.
So screen time, I think that the screen time is definitely good. Sometimes it feels forced for us because a lot of students usually just don't voluntarily put their camera on, but I think it's a really good way to keep us like interactive. And especially when we have like, I know someone mentioned earlier about putting us into breakout rooms and like group discussions. It really helps keeps us engaged because when you're looking at someone, you really don't want to be disrespectful and like not, be engaged with the conversation. So it just helps for us just spark some conversation or alleviate awkward silence.
Okay. Anything to add, Mom? I guess you're not participating in the screen time.
I'm not participating in that. I'm done with that. Thanks.
Okay. Sister Qualis? Sister Layla, screen time.
The screen time it sometimes can be a lot because, like I said, on Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays of the week, we have that out. It's about an hour. I want to say like 40 minutes of just looking at a screen. But then in the afternoon, we have a 15-minute thing, like time slot. So you are with that class and you don't really know what to do because you're just like, I want to get out of school during that 15-minute periods for each class. But other than that, it's really good. We do go off in breakout sessions, like I said, and we're able to talk with other classmates. So we're not only talking to the teacher, but sometimes she'll pop in or he'll pop in the room to see what we're up to because we all have to communicate with each other. So it's good for me.
Okay. Sister Avriel?
I think we have enough screen time talking to our teachers, because every day of the week, some of my teachers host meetings after school to help other students who need the help. And I think that's good because, well, sometimes we do need the help that we do need the help with work, and we do need the help with like projects.
Well, I'd like to chime in to speak on behalf of my other children. For my second grader, I do think, she has, I think it could be a little bit more, she gets breaks in between, but the break time, like I said, is for her to do her independent work. And so, I already expressed my challenge with that, these little nuances of making sure that, they are being disciplined in these concepts. For my kindergartner, I think, because it's a new experience. He was in preschool last year, and he started late, and then COVID interrupted, his preschool experience. And so, now kindergarten, this is, the foundation of what school is like. And I don't think he's getting it because he likes to sit in front of the computer and have something to, his hands have to be busy, and initially I would get upset with him, but he's still paying attention. He's trying to play with Legos, has something, he has to fiddle with something, hold a crayon or pencil, but he's still paying attention. But, it's the other things, the other disciplines, in the classroom, that he's just not, he's not getting that at home, and it's okay to an extent, but when it's time to go back to school, I think he's going to struggle a little bit. He may, because he's used to being able to get up, go where he wants to go. I'm thirsty. Can I have a banana? All of these little things. So, but the screen time for kindergarten, I think he could use a little bit more.
Yeah, this is extremely instructive. And I think all of our young people and parents are going to have an adjustment to make when things get back to whatever the new normal is. It's going to require some adjustments. Now there may be some more questions, but we can't answer all of them. And I think it's about that time that what I would like to do as a closeout is to give each of you a chance to say something to our viewers who may be parents, who may be children, who are going through the same experience that you're going through. What advice, what final word would you leave with them that you feel would best help them to succeed in the education of their young people as we go through this pandemic? What would be the best thing you could say to them that you feel would be most helpful to them as we go through? For example, I heard words like overwhelmed a lot in this conversation. I heard words like you got to be organized in this conversation. Are there suggestions, or is there a suggestion? Is there a last word that you'd like to leave with parents or young people who are viewing? So 1 minute apiece, and let's begin in the middle this time with Sister Aisha Qualis and Sister Layla Qualis.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, be patient, and if you don't understand something, or if the internet is just cutting out and you don't know what's going on, let that teacher know, because they won't be mad at you at all if you let them know, because they'll understand and they'll explain it to you, or they'll tell you something that you can do to improve on what you're doing. So it's just, you have to know and be patient with what's going on.
Thank you for that. Patience. That's one of the fruit of the Spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, parents, be patient as well with your children. Don't do, my recommendation is, if they see that you're losing your cool and your patience, they will too. So please be patient. Be organized by, like I said, if you have to set an alarm on, so their classes, she's in middle school, so she has different classes. Do that. Also, I would highly recommend get a support system. I mean, there are so many other parents out there. Join a Facebook group for parents that are doing all remote or virtual learning, whatever. There are so many tools and resources out there. You can reach out to me. I'll try to help you, but do the best that you can, and don't feel so overwhelmed that you may lose your cool and take it out on your children. So if you get to that point, reach out to someone, and counseling is a wonderful thing. So if you do need it, reach out. So that's my closing remarks. Thank you, Pastor, for this opportunity as well.
Well, thank you. Sister Avriel, Sister Aisha, last words of advice, recommendations?
Well, I'm gonna say keep calm and be patient. I would say keep calm, because sometimes the Wi-Fi wouldn't work, or the app we use, Schoology, wouldn't work, or you couldn't hear your teacher during the conferences, and most students would get like really upset that they couldn't understand the teacher or hear what she's saying. So I think it's best for you to keep calm and keep patient.
Okay, I'm gonna say trust in the Lord with all your heart, right? Because when I find myself getting to that point where I'm losing my patience, I excuse myself, and I go off into the kitchen or to the bathroom, and I say a little prayer, and I spend time worshiping in the house, by myself, and my kids bear witness to this, because like I said, it can be a little overwhelming. You have all of these demands, this one has these things to do, this one has that, and then I have my own responsibilities and things I have to take care of. So I spend time daily with the Lord, and often throughout the day, because when you feel yourself getting to that point, you do have to just walk away and take a moment. So take a moment, go outside, take a walk, drink some water, just take a moment if you need a moment.
Excellent. And finally, Sister Kelsey and Sister Kim, what word of advice would you give to our viewers?
I would advise all college students, and this is even for high school students, to really take this time to learn about yourself, because I have learned so many things that I can work on, that I'm going to need to advance in my career, like my organizational skills, time management. These are all things that this time is helping me see things that I'm good at and things that I need to improve on. So really take this time to look at yourself, watch your habits, and figure out what you can improve on. And don't stress yourself out too much, because although the professors do have high expectations of us, they are still human. So feel free to always reach out to your professors if you need a deadline extension or anything. Like, my professors have been really understanding. So just don't be afraid to communicate.
Fabulous, fabulous. Sister Kim?
And I would say to college parents and parents in general, love your children where they are. Understand that we are all going through this challenge of the pandemic, and we must communicate more, bring love closer to your heart, and increase your faith in Christ. Have that outlet of spirituality that will allow you to communicate and love your children where they are. We're all going through it, and we all need the time and the space to grow and grow through this. It's not going to last forever, but while it is here, we need to deal with it and be blessed in it. That's it.
Thank you so much. So can we all give God a hand praise for this magnificent presentation? Thank you, Sister Avriel. Thank you, Mother Turnage. Thank you, Sister Kelsey. Thank you, Mother Kim. Thank you, Sister Layla. Thank you, Mother Aisha. You guys have been fabulous. You've been fantastic, and I think extremely helpful to everybody who has been listening. This is an unprecedented time for us. All of us, as Sister Kim just said, all of us are going through this. We don't have any precedent to look back on to help us. We don't have any book that's been written that will tell us how to do this, because this is a first for all of us. So, but I think you nailed it right on the head by being open and transparent about your experience, and also owning the fact that sometimes we just don't have the answer and we got to pray. Sometimes we don't have the answer and we got to talk to God. And sometimes we don't have the answer. We just have to be patient with ourselves and patient with each other, and God will get us all through this. So once again, thank you so much. You guys are absolutely wonderful, and prayerfully, the resources have already begun to come in your direction. And people who are viewing, remember, if you need some help, Sister Qualis said, listen, before you get desperate, reach out to her. She can point you in the right direction or give you help right on the spot. Sister Turnage, help is on the way. You heard it from Brother Fuller. And Sister Kelsey, we're looking to read the headlines about all the magnificent work that you are shortly about to do as you graduate from college. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your time and your expertise. And now I say to everybody, we want you to continue to be safe and be blessed. And please take note of these announcements, which will be scrolling right after this prayer of benediction. God, we thank you for this occasion. We thank you for these wonderful panelists. We thank you for this information, and our prayer is that you will help us to open our hearts and our minds and receive it and use it for the benefit of our children, for the benefit of our families, and for the benefit of our society. Continue to bless these wonderful servants and all who are in touch with this program. Thank you, and we bless your name and give you praise, and we make this prayer in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Be blessed, everybody. Pay attention to these announcements.
Audio Jungle.
And here are the 4 ways to give. First, via our website at www.morningstarccc.org. And when you get there, click Give. Next, on our mobile app, search for Morningstar CCC, and again, click Give. Or our Cash App at $Morningstar1009. And lastly, by mail, where you can mail a check to 1009 Chandler Avenue, Linden, New Jersey, 07000. And now for this week's announcement.